Hi, Assalamualaikum. We are from KRK, Group 10, consists of 5 members, Khalisah Liana, Farzana Aisyah, Nur Harisha Mirzan, Siti Nur Aini Sofia and Nur Fitri Huda. The financial sector is highly vulnerable to cyber threats, with research showing banks are 300 times more likely to be targeted than other industries. A recent phishing attack exposed serious weaknesses. Employees were tricked into sharing credentials, allowing attackers to steal confidential data. The lack of email filtering and multi-factor authentication (MFA) made the breach possible. Phishing and social engineering remain the most common attack vectors, especially with remote work increasing exposure. For banks, the question is no longer if they will be attacked, but when. Large-scale incidents threaten not only institutions but also global financial stability. Consequences include financial losses, reputational damage, erosion of trust, and regulatory penalties. Smaller institutions face added challenge due to limited resources of cybersecurity investment. This report analyzes the causes of the phishing incident and recommends measures such as advanced email filtering, MFA, intrusion detection, employee training, and zero trust policies to strengthen defense.
In this session, I will explain the analysis of security threats. Threat analysis is an important process used to evaluate an organization's cybersecurity defense. Its main purpose is to identify weaknesses, understand potential risks, and reduce vulnerabilities before they are exploited by attackers. By performing threat analysis, security teams gain a clearer understanding of the current threat landscape and can take proactive steps to prevent cyber incidents rather than reacting after damage has already occurred. Lack proper email filtering means that the organization does not have effective systems to block malicious emails. As a result, phishing emails, spam, and malware can reach employees' inbox and appear legitimate. This increases the chance that employees may click on harmful links or unknowingly share their login credentials. For financial institutions that handle large amounts of personal and financial information, even a single mistake can lead to data breach or financial fraud. Root causes and impact. There are several reasons why this issue occurs. Limited budgets and cybersecurity resources often force organizations to rely on basic filtering systems. In addition, the absence of link and attachment sandboxing allows malicious files to reach users without being safely tested. Missing email authentication protocols such as SPF, DKIM, and DMARC also make it easier for attackers to impersonate trusted senders. The impact includes successful phishing attacks, malware and ransomware infections, and domain spoofing. Overall, weak email filtering significantly increase cybersecurity risks and highlight the importance of strengthening email security in financial institutions.
Imagine if a stolen password was all an attacker needed to access a company system. No extra verification, no second check, just instant access. Unfortunately, this is still the reality for many organizations today due to the lack of multi-factor authentication or MFA. Multi-factor authentication adds an extra layer of security by requiring more than just a password, such as one-time code or a biometric factor. Even if a password is compromised, MFA can prevent unauthorized access and significantly reduce cyber risk. Despite its importance, MFA adoption remains very low. For example, Twitter's 2021 transparency report showed that only 2.5% of active users enabled any form of two-factor authentication. Among them, most rely on SMS-based methods, while fewer use more secure authentication apps. This shows that resistance to MFA is not a small issue but a widespread cross-industry challenge. So the key question is, why is MFA still not widely adopted? Next section explains the main root causes behind the absence of MFA and the security impacts that result from it. Okay, the first root cause is convenience over security. First, organizations often prioritize convenience over security. Users see MFA as time-consuming and disruptive, so it is avoided. As a result, when passwords are stolen, attackers can gain immediate unauthorized access. The second root cause, reliance on legacy systems. Second, many organizations rely on legacy systems that do not support modern authentication methods. This leads to continued dependence on weak, password-only authentication, increasing vulnerability to attacks. And lastly, the third root cause, which is executive pressure to relax controls. Executives sometimes request exceptions from security controls, including MFA, due to its convenience. This creates a selective protection where high-value accounts become easy targets for attackers. So in conclusion, the lack of multi-factor authentication is not caused by a single issue, but by a combination of convenience, outdated systems, and management pressure. These factors create serious security risks, making MFA a critical control that organizations should prioritize.
This slide explains how advanced email filtering and secure gateways protect organizations from phishing and malware. First, DNS-based email authentication strengthens email trust by fixing SMTP weakness. It uses SPF, TKIM, and DMARC together. SPF specifies authorized sending server, TKIM digitally sign message to prevent tampering, and DMARC tells receiving server how to handle an authenticated email. This prevents domain spoofing, reduce phishing attack, and protect the organization email reputation. Second, content and link inspection provide real-time threat analysis. URL writing scan link when clicked, and deep packet inspection check attachment for hidden malware. This ensures phishing attacks and malicious payload are blocked before reaching the network, reducing the risk of malware and ransomware. In short, combining these two methods ensures email communications are secure, trusted, and protect against modern cyber threats. On this slide, we will discuss about two tools and technology. First, the secure email gateway solution. This tool filters and inspection all inbound and outbound email, program phishing attempts and malware and malicious attachment before they reach user inbox. For deployment, there are two main options: cloud-based gateway like Proofpoint, Memcached, and Microsoft Defender. These offer scalability, global threat intelligence, and real-time protection against zero-day attacks. On-premise gateways such as Cisco ESA and Fortimail, which give organizations full control over email traffic and data sovereignty. Suitable for environment with strict regulation requirements. Key features include AI-driven heuristic, attachment sandbox, and policy enforcement. This ensures that threats are quarantined and organizational security standards are maintained. Next, email authentication tools. Tools like DMARC Analyzer on DMARC convert to DMARC XML reports into actionable dashboard. They help identify or service sending emails on behalf of the organization and disguise between legitimate and unauthorized sender. Additionally, visualizing email traffic pattern allows administrators to implement a phased DMARC rollout, from monitoring to strict rejection, blocking fraudulent email with disrupting legitimate communication. Overall, these tools work together to strengthen email security, reduce the risk of phishing attacks, and ensure that legitimate communications are delivered safely. On this slide, I will explain the implementation step for securing email system. First, we start with email infrastructure and risk assessment. This means identify all email domain, server, and user, and checking possible risks such as phishing attack. Next, we implement DNS-based email authentication by configuring SPF and TKIM, and deploy DMARC in monitoring mode to detect spoofing email. Then, we use a secure email gateway or SEG towards email securely and enable threat intelligence. We also apply advanced content and link inspection, including URL writing and attachment scanning to block malware. After that, policy and email segment help reduce spam and unnecessary emails. We strengthen security with DMARC enforcement, gradually blocking unauthorized email. Finally, we perform continuous monitoring and optimization by reviewing reports and improving protection over time. This step helps ensure a safe and more reliable email system.
Adaptive or contextual MFA adjusts authentication based on the risk of each login attempt, considering factors like location, device time, and network behavior. For trusted devices or locations, access is smooth. Unusual activity triggers additional verification, such as a hardware token or biometrics. This approach helps banks prevent phishing and unauthorized access while keeping the login process efficient. Phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication (MFA) protects banks from phishing attacks by using device-bound authentication instead of passwords or OTPs. Access is allowed only through trusted devices like hardware tokens or smart cards, so stolen credentials cannot be reused. It also prevents login on fake banking websites, ensuring credentials remain secure. Overall, phishing-resistant MFA reduces unauthorized access, data breaches, and financial fraud in financial institutions.
We have two tools and technologies for MFA. Firstly, biometric authentication uses unique physical traits such as fingerprints or facial recognition to verify a user's identity. Because it does not rely on passwords or codes, attackers cannot steal credentials through phishing emails or fake banking websites. By ensuring that only authorized users can access banking systems, biometrics help financial institutions prevent phishing-related breaches and protect sensitive customer and financial data. The second one is hardware tokens, like smart cards or USB security keys, are physical devices employees must use to log in. Even if credentials are stolen through phishing, attackers cannot access the system without the token. This strengthens MFA and protects sensitive banking systems and customer data. To implement multi-factor authentication in banks, the first step is risk assessment, identifying high-risk systems and users to focus protection where it's needed most. Next, banks select MFA methods that are secure and phishing-resistant, combining factors like something the user has, is, or knows. Before full deployment, a pilot test is conducted with a small group to identify usability or technical issues. Then comes full deployment and training, rolling out MFA across the bank and educating employees on using tokens, smart cards, and safe practices. Finally, continuous monitoring and review ensure the system remains effective, suspicious activity is tracked, devices are managed, and policies are updated as threats evolve.
For conclusion, financial institutions remain highly vulnerable to phishing attacks that exploit human weaknesses and weak safeguards. In this case, attackers trick employees into giving login credentials, gaining access due to poor email filtering, lack of MFA, and weak network security. The result was stolen financial data, reputational damage, and regulatory risk. To address these issues, solutions include advanced email filtering, intrusion detection system, role-based access control, and mandatory MFA. These measures strengthen security and ensure compliance. By upgrading defense, institutions can reduce future breach, rebuild trust, and adapt to evolving threats. Continuous investment in and zero trust practice are essential to protect sensitive financial data and maintain reliability in today's interconnected world.